ESPN Sports Science Year of the Quarterback Combine Special is presented by Under Armour. Now, quarterbacks are called field generals for a reason. They're the guys everyone looks to for leadership, direction, and confidence. And one characteristic associated with confidence that's often overlooked is the human voice. How important is your voice?
It's huge to project confidence in your speech as you're calling the play. Your voice is a huge tool.
Here in the Sports Science Lab, using special technologies, including what's called layered voice analysis, we'll perform an unprecedented breakdown of our quarterbacks' voices. And voices are never more important than when playing in a stadium like Qwest Field, which has been measured at 137 decibels. That's as loud as standing next to a jet engine.
An ideal cadence that a quarterback would call would start loud and increase in loudness over the course of the cadence, building excitement and also confidence in that quarterback.
Woo, 80!
Mike 52, Mike 52.
Of the QBs we tested,
1980!
Ryan Mallett's voice
1987!
has the highest level of amplitude or energy in the sound wave. He can increase his loudness 218%.
Down! 2288! 2288's hot!
Peaking at over 95 decibels.
2288's hot!
About as loud
1980!
as a lawnmower.
1980's hot!
You can't step into the huddle and whisper the play and expect guys to go out there and play for you.
Pitch, the rate of vibrations in the vocal cords, also increases a QB's chances of being heard. Higher frequency of vibrations equals a higher pitched voice. And sounds with a higher frequency are more directional. This means a higher pitched call directed 25 yards down the line at a wideout has a better chance of being heard.
180!
The quarterback whose voice averaged the highest frequency in the lab was Andy Dalton.
Blue 10. The hut.
At 306 hertz. The other QBs averaged 273 hertz.
Mike 52.
The result is that his higher frequency voice
The hut.
is more directional and more easily heard at the edges of the field.
Mike 52.
In fact, when you add it all up, Andy Dalton's voice tested the best overall in the lab.
The hut.
With an average pitch of 306 hertz and a volume capable of hitting over 90 decibels, Dalton has the strong vocal tools to instill confidence at the next level.
The hut. The hut.
Any quarterback can memorize a playbook, but to be an elite performer, a QB has to be able to improvise, think on his feet, throw on the run. To challenge these skills, we designed the ultimate quarterback test. And the QB who stepped to the front of our class was Christian Ponder. Christian Ponder finished his college career with over 6,800 yards passing and 49 touchdowns, throwing 20 TDs this season alone.
Ponder throws touchdown.
For this test, Ponder will have to drop back into our pocket of infrared light sensors. A signal will fire, indicating that the pocket is collapsing, and he'll have to roll left or right. At the same time, one of 3 targets will illuminate, becoming his open receiver. And 2 of the targets will be moving. With the targets moving, that's probably the most realistic thing in the game. Very rarely is a receiver just standing still.
Oh, no, I mean, it never happens where a guy is just standing there. You know, obviously, you got to hit guys in stride and on the move and got to be accurate while you're on the move as well.
Our biomechanical sensors and eye tracking system will measure precisely how he moves and where he looks as he attempts to thread the needle. 3, 2, 1, go! Woohoo! As he drops back into our high-tech pocket, his peripheral vision detects his escape route, and he executes a 50-degree lateral cut in only 2 strides. Ponder achieves an arm speed of over 1,700 degrees per second.
and fires a 36-mile-per-hour dart, hitting his target right in the virtual numbers.
Biomechanically, when you're running and throwing, you don't have the option of shifting your weight precisely. It's much tougher because you have no idea when you release that ball what percentage of weight is going to be on which foot.
A quarterback is trained to execute a textbook pass using a kinematic chain of energy that flows from his feet through his hand. To throw on the run, Ponder has to bypass years of muscle memory to keep his upper body level while drastically shifting his weight.
Out of 17 attempts, Ponder hit his target 14 times for an accuracy rate of 82%. In this test, he was almost 30% more accurate than any of the other QBs. Coming up, we'll take a standard NFL test, the Wonderlic, and push it to the next level. That's when the ESPN Sports Science Year of the Quarterback Combine Special continues. Welcome back to the ESPN Sports Science Year of the Quarterback Combine Special. To evaluate the mental agility of prospects, the NFL administers a 12-minute, 50-question test at the Combine called the Wonderlic. Well, here in the lab, we amplified the difficulty of that test by combining a mental challenge with a physical test. What we want to do is we want to test just your pure reaction time. So it lights up, boom, you just swipe your hand. The second time, I'm going to fire questions at you. And we're going to see if having to answer those questions slows down your reaction time at all.
That's what the quarterback position is all about, reacting to everything the defense is doing in the blink of an eye.
3, 2, 1, go.
On average, the quarterbacks we tested reacted and broke the light beams in 67 hundredths of a second. Now, to step up the challenge, we have them do the same test, but this time, they have to both react and think.
It's game time. Ready? Go. How many seconds are there between plays in the NFL?
40.
40.
True or false? The fumble is named after legendary Dallas coach Rodney Fumble.
False.
Goal.
On average, reaction times slow down by 11 hundredths of a second. Valuable time when you're going through your progressions.
Spell touchdown backwards.
NWODHCUOT.
Nice.
Recent studies suggest that humans are actually incapable of truly multitasking. It's really just shifting our attention back and forth rapidly between different tasks, and performance typically suffers for both tasks.
Name 2 NFL teams that have horses as mascots.
Broncos. Pass.
One reason that reaction times slow down is that the prefrontal and frontal cortex of the brain process motor skills, while also being responsible for cognition and decision-making. But one of our QBs overcame the prefrontal bottleneck and completed the test with impressive results. Alabama QB Greg McElroy. He completed 71% of his passes in 2010 and scored a 43 on his Wonderlic test. And in our test, when answering questions,
How many ounces do 4 footballs weigh?
60.
McElroy actually improved his reaction times by 14%.
What is the size of the end zone?
10 yards deep, 52 1/3 yards wide.
Nice.
How is this possible? Well, sometimes pressure can be a good thing, triggering the fight or flight reflex. This increases production of adrenaline, which improves blood circulation, helps the lungs transport more oxygen into the bloodstream, and increases supplies of available energy by up to 25%.
McElroy, touchdown, Crimson Tide!
It's the ability to harness those effects of adrenaline and to remain cool under insane pressure that ultimately determines who will succeed at the next level in the NFL. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.